soft like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem has a story. Melodies seem to form inside of you. The flow of your body drips soft like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem has a
Hi, I'm Effie Barker. We are right here in downtown Los Angeles. When you say we're not going away with these issues, what are those issues? Good evening. Welcome to the special edition of I'm Effie Barker. All right, we are still in for a treat because our guest is a singer-songwriter from Yucca Valley, California, Miss Grace Angelic. We will talk to her more in a bit, but right now, let's listen to one of her music, which is called Tainted. It's actually one of the first music projects that she did over here, and it was played on BBC Soulland a few times already. So we are very lucky that we get to listen to this music called Tainted.
Maybe I'm tainted from all the stains of you, so I remain jaded because you want me to. And it feels like ooh, and it feels like ooh, I could love you forever, I could love you forever. I'm sitting in the dark watching my heart bleed for you. I try to wipe my tears, but they just keep coming through. Oh, I told myself that it might take a little time, but slowly I'd forget you and I'd be just fine. But no matter what I do, can't get you out of my mind. Maybe I'm tainted from all the stains of you, so I remain jaded because you want me to. And it feels like ooh, and it feels like ooh, I could love you forever, I could love you forever. I wanna wash away the scent of your cologne, I wanna wash away the scent of your cologne, but I always hesitate 'cause I just can't let you go. Oh, everybody tells me that I'll be alright. Can someone tell me how to make it through the night? I'm trying so hard, but don't know how I will survive. Maybe I'm tainted from all the stains of you, so I remain jaded because you want me to. And it feels like ooh, and it feels like ooh, I could love you forever, I could love you forever. And it feels like, and it feels like I could love you forever, I could love you forever.
Welcome back to Effie Barker Human Interest. We are still with our guest who is from Yucca Valley in California. She's a singer-songwriter. Let's welcome back Grace Angelic. Hello, Grace. Welcome back. Let's talk about your music. Wow, what a beautiful voice you have. When did you start singing?
I've been singing my whole life, really. My dad is a voice teacher and an opera singer, and my grandma used to sing as well. So I think I started taking lessons when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And yeah, I used to go to all of my dad's shows. And when I was really little, I think like 3 or 4 years old, I used to go up on stage and take bows with him because I just wanted to be up there performing. So yeah, I've been singing for pretty much my whole life. And I started writing songs when I was about probably 12, 11 or 12. And then throughout high school, I started focusing more on musical theatre. And then once I left high school, I realized I still had a passion for music composition. So I went back into it and started writing some more.
Right. So what type of music do you do?
I haven't really figured out what, what kind of genre I fit into just yet. I like listening to all different genres. So at the moment, I'm writing more like indie rock stuff. But in the past, I've done like R&B, a little bit of pop, some indie pop, a little bit of jazz, coffee house type stuff. But yeah, this year I'm focusing more on my indie rock style. So yeah.
Mhm. Talk to us about where do you draw your emotions when you write a story?
It really depends on the actual song. Like if I'm being commissioned for something, somebody's hired me to do something for them, I try and speak to them as much as I can about their emotions in that moment and how that affected them. But when I'm writing for myself, I try and I don't know. I think I just try and relive that moment. I guess.
What
Um,
motivates you when you write a song?
I think I just pull it from personal experience. Try and kind of put myself back in that situation and try and relive that moment. Um, I've heard people talk about songwriting as being augmented reality. So, it might be a little bit more descriptive. Yeah. It might be a little bit more descriptive. It might be a little bit more exaggerated, but it's still that reality is just amplified in song. So it's just taking that one step further and putting that into song form.
Mm-hmm. You said you married at the age of 19 and moved here, right? It
Yeah.
sounded like it has given you a lot of maturity. It sounds like it.
Thank you.
Even with the songs, as you write them, there's more to it now. Would you say that music could help you a lot in coping with your transition here in the UK?
Definitely. I think music is my outlet. It's my therapy. And I think because it's so personal and it's so intimate, um, it's kind of like journaling or having a diary, but I write music to it, and I don't always share what I write. Some of it's more private than others, but um, yeah, this project was kind of just me coping with the things I've realized over the last few years. I've kind of put those into specific feelings and chapters of my life, and I wanted to get it down in music.
All right, let's take another break. Let's play your other favorites.
Oh, there's one called New Friends, which
Yes.
is basically it. When you first listen to it, it sounds really bitter, and I understand that. But it's actually a two-way conversation. So it's about losing friends that you've left behind because they don't really, like you're out of sight, out of mind. Once you've moved away, they don't really care to keep in touch with you. And when you come back to visit, it's not really a big deal that they see you while you're there, even though you're only there for a little bit of time. But it's actually, it goes both ways because I realize that I have not always been great at keeping in touch with people as well. And when I am visiting my family, I only have a short window to actually see the people I want to see. So sometimes people don't get into that window, and then I've missed that opportunity. So I appreciate that it's a two-way street. And yeah, when I wrote it, I know it sounds bitter, but it's also a self-reflection of myself and how I need to make more effort to maintain those relationships when you're living abroad.
You said you'd visit me someday, and I have been waiting. You just disappeared. Guess I'm out of sight, out of your mind. Seems a friendship was a lie. I'm tired of rearranging FaceTime. I've got some new friends now. They pick me up when I'm down. If you're sorry, I can tell. But darling, I wish you well. Oh, 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 You didn't really seem worried when I spent 3 lonely nights in A&E. And you don't wanna hang out back in my hometown when I visit family. Guess I'm out of sight, out of your mind. Finally, I see the light. I was your friend, but you weren't mine. I've got some new friends now. They pick me up when I'm down. If you're sorry, I can tell. But darling, I wish you well. Oh, 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 And with this, I let you go. But I still wanted you to know that I still care for you, you see. But it's time to set you free. I've got some new friends now. They pick me up when I'm down. If you're sorry, I can tell. But darling, I wish you well. Oh, 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 I've got some new friends now. They pick me up when I'm down. If you're sorry, I can tell. But darling, I really wish you well.
Welcome back to Effie Barker Human Interest. We are still with our guest, Grace Angelic. She is a singer songwriter from California and she moved here in 2016. She is living now in Hampshire, in England. Hello, Grace. Welcome back. I know it's always been really tough. It's always been difficult for anybody, for whatever,
Mm.
whether you're American or you're from Asia or Africa, moving to the UK at the same time adjusting to the way of life here, and you don't have your family, like you said. It's important there would be a support system, and
The time difference doesn't help. I wake up when they're fast asleep, and then I'm going to bed when they're waking up. So it's hard to actually find time to catch up sometimes.
right. Was there a time at the time when you just probably the first 1 year that you were here that you'd really really miss your family?
Oh, I always miss them. I think I am. I'm gonna get emotional again. I'm not gonna do it. I try and pretend like it doesn't, like, I just try and like cover it. I have like this hole in my heart, and I'm just like constantly filling it up with day-to-day stuff. But like as soon as someone mentions home, like those layers come off, and then I just have this open wound. I miss them all the time. Um, but yeah, in I think it was 2018. It was really hard because I still wasn't driving. My fault. And I had appendicitis, and I had to go to the hospital. They didn't know what it was at first because it was grumbling appendicitis. So there was a lot of back and forth between different GPs and different consultants trying to figure out what's going on. And I couldn't drive myself. I couldn't get to the appointments. So I remember there was a day where I had to try and get a taxi to go to my hospital appointment. And I just thought, I wish my mom was here. Like, I'm scared. And, I want someone to actually come with me to these appointments because my husband was working in London. My mom-in-law was at work as well. And they both ended up taking time off to help me. But I just felt like I was such a burden to them, for them to actually have to, take time off and potentially not get paid for that day or have to take annual leave for it, just for a basic appointment. So yeah, it was times like that. I was like, I really miss my mom. I want her help. I want her to help me, and I'm scared, and I want that support.
Right. All these are things that relate, as I mentioned in my intro,
Mm,
that many people know little about how it is, when you moved, pull yourself, the whole of you, to a whole new world, and
yeah.
adjusting with not just adjustment with your circle, like the in-laws and your husband and the people that surrounds you within the community, and at the same time you miss the old life that you had and the
Mhm.
support that you had. All these things contribute to, and with people's treatment or, you know opinion about your race, and that
Mm.
doesn't help at all.
Yeah,
And
I
for
think a lot
some,
of it was like my own anxiety as well. Like, I think, again, because I was so young, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. That's why I do performing arts, because I want everybody to love me. um, but yeah, I think like the anxiety that I built around that just made it worse and worse and worse over the years until I found friends who could help me bring those walls down and help me find, myself again and be comfortable with who I was, and know that people love me for who I am, which is really nice. Um, but yeah, I think the hardest thing now that I've overcome all of that, is dealing with the homesickness. I think it's when you hear the word homesickness, you think, oh, you just miss a place, you just miss the people there, but you can go back and visit anytime, right? But it's so much more than that. I feel like when I go back now, it's changed so much. So like my favorite restaurants are gone, or the people that I used to be friends with have all moved away. So when I go back, it's kind of like it's just like a shell, like an empty shell. It's like a replica of what I used to live in, but it's not what I know and remember.
you're
So yeah,
alienated.
yeah, I just feel like home, yeah, or deep home is a memory. So like that feeling, that time in my life, that experience, like I'll never get that again. So I think the homesickness is not just missing the place, but also like the grief that that's gone, and you're never gonna get that back. But yeah, and also knowing like no matter where I end up, like even if I move back, I'd still have that hole for England. I'd still miss England as well. So I'm never going to be 100% happy wherever I am now.
Yeah,
Home
that's
is
the thing.
everywhere. Home is nowhere.
Yeah, when you live longer away from your country, and then you would miss that, but when you're there, you would miss here.
Yeah.
What has been, with all the things that you have mentioned, what has been the best thing about? Let's talk about good things now. What are the best things that the UK has given you?
Ooh. Um, their chocolate. Their chocolate's amazing.
Oh
um,
yeah.
I really like the NHS. I know they have its flaws, and it's severely underfunded, but the NHS has been a huge, huge help, especially with my appendectomy. I know you get taxed on it. People complain on TikTok like you do pay for it. Yeah, but you don't pay for it at the point of service. That's what taxes are for. I might have started a debate there, but I really appreciate the NHS. I think I have a much better work-life balance. Um, a lot of people here have incredible annual leave packages, whereas in the US, I think you only get like a week or two. Again, it depends on your job and your sector, but here they're very generous with annual leave and bank holidays and things. So I just feel like um, I get to actually explore the world a bit more. Whereas if I was in the US, I think it would be a bit more difficult to go out and do big long trips. Um, so that's definitely something I like to do. Uh, yeah, and I just like I really like the transportation here as well. Everyone drives everywhere in the US. Well, again, it depends where you live, but in California in particular, you have to drive everywhere. Everywhere you go is like 2 or 3 hours away. Whereas here, you just hop on a train and take a tube to wherever, and it's quick and easy, and um, yeah, it's just nice and convenient.
Right. And it's not really right that we didn't pay because we did. We paid before we moved in the UK,
Well,
right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I say to people. It makes me so angry. I'm like, no, actually, I paid an extra
Lot.
£1,000 on top of my application each time to pay for
Mm-hmm.
it. And they say, oh, all these immigrants coming in, taking our jobs and taking our resources. No, we've actually paid to be here. We paid quite a lot.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and so I'm always very vocal about that when people bring it up. So I don't think they realize. And then they say, oh, well, there's this guy on Facebook and he posted something about something. It was like a really distasteful joke about a doctor being from another country. And then I said, well, what's the difference between them being a doctor and me being a doctor? And he said, well, it's okay. And I was like, why is it okay? Because I'm white, because I speak English. Like, why is that? Well, like, there's still, like, we've gone through the same process. There's nothing different between us. Like, this is what an immigrant looks like. I think people don't realize, like, just because you're white and you speak English and you come from a very similar country, it doesn't mean that you're not going through all the same things that other people are. And why should those people be treated differently? So yeah,
And that is a really very powerful statement that now that you are white and you speak English, you're not immigrant.
yeah. But why? It doesn't make any sense. I've gone through the same process. I've left my country. This is all new to me. It's yeah, just
Yeah.
wild.
These are one of the things that a lot of people really do not know little about things about
Mm,
and immigrants.
mm.
Um, would you said that you kind of felt that this is your home, or you had a difficulty time adjusting at the beginning, you miss home, but now you feel that this is where you're home and you belong here, and talking about that immigration definition of immigrant because you're white, etc. Would you mm, consider yourself now as an immigrant or an expat?
I'd still say immigrant. I think expat. I don't know if this is correct, but from what I've read on the internet, expat is like you plan on returning home at some point, whereas immigrant is like you've come to stay permanently. And I think I probably will be here permanently. Never say
Right.
never, but yeah, I'm pretty settled here now. And my
Yeah.
husband would like to experience the US, and I don't want to take that away from him, but because I know how difficult it is. One, I don't want him to go through that pain and struggle that I went through because it's horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Two, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to have to make friends again and have to find a new career path and like try and do all the admin and everything. It's hard. It's really hard.
Does your husband likes America?
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he loves the food. He loves the amusement parks. He loves my family. Yeah, he always enjoys going there. It's nice because it's so big and it's so different. So even if we go to California each time, we have a completely different trip because you've got the desert, you've got the mountains, you've got the beach. Everything is there. You might have to drive 3 hours to get there, but it's there in the same state. Um, Whereas here, I think I mean, you still have the beach and things, but I think the land's quite flat in general. So yeah, it's nice to have all the big national parks and to do hiking and exploring when we're out there.
Mm. What are the things, well, the worst things in the UK for you, and what did you wish you had known before you moved here?
Oh, the worst things. Well, I mean, the visa process was very hard. I wish I knew how difficult that was beforehand, and I wish I had like proper savings before that because I was really struggling to get all that together before the deadline each time. The worst things, probably the weather. I'm a Cali girl. I love having the sunshine, and it's always dark and miserable here. I actually had to change my makeup foundation because I wasn't tan anymore, so that was pretty sad. Um, and I also think like again, I don't think it's that bad now because I know how to work around it. But I think when I first came over here, I really struggled to socialize, and um, I think in general, again, I don't speak for everybody, but I think in general, British people are quite content with their bubbles, and they don't feel the need to go out and make new friends necessarily. Like the people they went to school with, that's their school friends. The people that go to work with, those are work friends. Those groups don't mix. You don't really meet other people through things like that. So I think trying to find people with similar interests and trying to become part of a group was really difficult at first. I don't think that's like, it's not like, oh, all British people are bad. I like to think of it like Americans are dogs and British people are cats. So, Americans are like, hi, how are you? I want to meet you. I want to be your best friend. Like, let's go hang out and let's do stuff together. And that's quite intense for a cat. I think the cats, they want to get to know you from a distance first and make sure that you're okay. And then eventually they'll warm up to you and they'll be really loyal and wonderful. But I think the way I approached things in the beginning was maybe a little bit too full on. So yeah.
That's quite funny description. Like, I think it really fits.
Again, I don't speak for everyone. I know there's people who are very outgoing, and I did actually. One of my friends is English, and she actually came up to me, and I always joke about it. It's like, you came up to me in a car park in the middle of nowhere. Like, why did you want to say hello to me? That's so out of character. I'm like, what? So yeah, she came up and said hello to me because I was moving into a building, and she asked if I needed help, and then we became friends that way. So that was quite nice. But yeah, I think those are quite rare instances where someone will actually approach you, especially like on the
Yeah.
train and things. Like, it's so embarrassing when my parents come to visit because my mom loves talking to everybody, and we'll be on the tube in London and she'll just start talking to random people. I'm like, Mom, don't talk to them. They don't want to talk to you. Don't make eye contact. Like, no, I don't know you. I'm not with you. Like, just, oh God, it's so embarrassing. But yeah, it's just like a different way of interacting with people here.
Let's take another short break and let's listen to one of our other songs. It's called Restless.
It's funny how things change from one day to another. We're strangers now, but yesterday we were lovers. I wish I had the power to turn back the time. I thought I had the strength to up and walk away, but now I'm just restless, restless without you. I tried to have the strength to up and walk away. I can't stop thinking all about you, 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 you. I never wanted us to end up this way. I never thought that I could feel so much pain. I never should have tried to leave you that day. I wish that we could start over again. I wish that I could still call you my man. I wanted to be strong, but I really don't think I can. I thought I had the strength to up and walk away, but now I'm just restless, restless without you. I tried to have the strength to up and walk away. I can't stop thinking all about you, 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 restless without you. I tried to have the strength to up and walk away. I can't stop thinking all about you, 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 you.
That was Restless by Grace Angelique. It's a sad song of a person who lost someone dear to her heart. So this sounds like a person who is brokenhearted. I can't stop thinking about you and I don't have the strength. I thought I had the strength. And I'm now just restless without you. And I can't stop thinking all about you. This talks about breakups. I wish I could start over again. So it sounds like still wishing to have each other back, and I wish I still call you my man. Wanted to be strong, but I don't really think I can. That is Restless by Grace Angelique. Let's talk more with our guest. Welcome back, Grace. You mentioned earlier that you're having a hard time going out and meeting people. Was that because you're just shy, and or was it really difficult to interact with people?
Uh, no,
People are
think
friendly.
I don't think I'm shy. I think maybe I was looking in the wrong places, and
Mm,
I think another big part of it is, you can't be friends with everyone. If they don't want to be your friend, you know, just leave it. Like I think I tried to force friendships where they just weren't like they weren't interested, and that wasn't a reflection on me. That was just like, they didn't want to meet new people. They didn't want to hang out, I guess. I just had to find my tribe. I had to find my people, the people who supported me and appreciated me for
right.
who I was.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
What are the most important thing that you could now that you could seen already both worlds? What are the most important differences between the UK and the US?
Um, Again, I can't speak from experience because I haven't lived in the US as an adult, but um, from what I've seen and from what I've heard and from other people that I know living in the US, I think there's a much better work-life balance here. I think I heard something like uh, it was a phrase like English people work to live and Americans live to work, which
Hmm.
I do find some truth in. I think it's especially with like maternity leave here, having a longer time to spend with your family, and to go on holidays and experience the world, it's so much nicer and more relaxed, I would say. And again, like as annoying as it is having things close at 4 p.m. on a Sunday, like that's nice that people can actually have a weekend off. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing. And then yeah, I don't really know. Sorry, because I haven't lived there myself as an adult. I don't really have anything to compare to. So I've never had to buy a house there or had to interview for lots of jobs and things. So I can't really compare it in that way.
Right. Now that whatever with everything that you had experienced from moving in and all these documentations and everything else, if you could redo your move to the UK, what would you do differently?
I would learn to drive straight away. That is a big thing. I would start a savings account just for visa stuff. Um, yeah, because you really need to prep for that because it will sneak up on you and then you have to scramble and be like, oh my god, it's gonna expire soon. So yeah, definitely have a savings account, learn to drive, and also join groups. So like, I recently started a ballet class, which I am really enjoying, and I've met some amazing people that way. To join a group, so like my a cappella group, my ballet class, people take cooking classes or learn a different language and things, and that's how you meet new people and have a similar interest that you can connect with. So yeah, I would have definitely tried to go out more. I think it was, I mean, I didn't make it easy for myself because I couldn't drive, but I got very isolated very quickly. So yeah, the only way I could hang out with friends is if they came to me. So yeah, that's definitely something I would do differently.
What did you wish the UK? What did you wish was different in the UK?
Uh, their food. I miss American food so much, and I miss like good proper Mexican food. Here they have like pretend Mexican food, I like to call it, because it's not like the flavors are totally off. And they
Mm.
always have like there's this one restaurant that used to have, instead of like tortilla chips when you go in, like traditional tortilla chips, they just have popcorn. Like why? Why
Ugh.
popcorn's not Mexican? Why are you serving it? And it's cold as well. It's not even nice, hot, warm popcorn.
Mm.
Um yeah. I don't miss the portion sizes, weirdly enough. I thought I would, and like the free refills and stuff, but I actually can enjoy like a full course now. Like I can have a starter, I can have a main, I can have a dessert and not feel like I'm gonna die. Whereas in the
Mm.
US I'd have like one thing and not be able to finish it and have to take it home. Um
Mm.
so yeah, I think it's maybe less wasteful here. And yeah, I mean technically it's more expensive because you get less stuff. But I think it's there for a reason. I think they're trying to make sure that we're not, going to be really unhealthy in the future. So, yeah, yeah.
To my last question, um, anything else that you want to tell? Because I wanted this platform to be able to help other people who are in the process or thinking of moving here, or
Mm,
maybe they're already here. Anything
mm.
else that you would like to tell them now that you have gone through all that?
Um, so for starters, do your research. I'm part of a lot of different Americans in the UK groups, and we get a lot of questions that people make fun of them, and I don't think it's fair to make fun of them because I was in that position too once where I didn't know how to move over here or what to do. I wrote a letter to the Queen actually, and I got a letter back from Buckingham Palace saying, "Sorry, we can't help you, but good luck," which was amazing. But like thinking about it now, like that was such a silly thing to do. Why did I do that? Um, but yeah, do your research. Make sure you're prepared. And on the flip side of that, I'd also say don't be afraid to ask for help. There are lots of good online resources and little communities online that you can join with people with similar experiences. And there's one group in particular that I really enjoy because we talk about anything and everything. It's not just about the differences between America and England. It's not just about moving over here. It's like even like you know pumping someone up for an interview or talking about selling their house or showing a picture of their dog. Like it's just like it's like a whole other world.
Or
And we just
tackle?
share this community, which is really nice. It's not just about being an expat
Mm.
or an immigrant, whatever you want to call yourself.
Mm.
um, yeah. So yeah, do your research. Make sure that you're going in with as much information as you can, because nothing can really prepare you for this. But do as much prep as you can, and when the time's right, ask for help, because there are things that you're not going to know when you come over here. There are things that aren't going to make sense to you. Like I didn't know that I had to do taxes in the US. That was a complete shock to me. So even though I don't owe anything, I still have to declare it. I still have to file the forms. I'd never done that before. So I was like, help, what do I do? So yeah, people can guide you to other resources or other companies or people that can help you. You don't have to
I,
do it alone.
right. W- I was just curious when you mentioned that you wrote a letter to the Queen.
I did, yeah.
Tell me, what was the motivation in there? Was it desperation of whatever you were going through at that time? Did you
Yeah,
really
I
need?
think
What kind of help did you ask?
so. Because we were so young, um, I never planned to get married that young, and I think there's a lot of questions around that now, like, oh, like, why did that happen so quickly? And yeah, like,
What did you
I
say
don't
to
regret
her?
it. Sorry.
What did you say to her?
So I said to her, okay, sorry to give you some backstory. I was applying to lots of different jobs in the UK from the US, but I couldn't get anything because of the work sponsorships. So I think I wrote basically saying like, how do I move over here without getting married? Because like they put all these things in place so you don't get married to move over here, but because of all those roadblocks and things in place, we had to get married to move over here. Um, so yeah, I think it was basically just like, this is our story, and we want to be together. How do I do that? And then one of the ladies in waiting wrote back, and I still have that letter, and she said, "The Queen's asked me to thank you for your letter. She's not able to comment on these kind of situations, but she wishes you both the best. So yeah, it was kind of like, oh, amazing, but also not helpful at all. Thanks.
I'm curious of why of all people you thought of her. Was it
I
because
don't
she's
know.
a figure of hope or something?
I don't know. I think because I had written to I'd written to loads of companies, I'd written to lawyers, I'd written to
MPs maybe?
yeah, so MPs and like mayors and other people in the town just to find out like how did I do this? I didn't know, I was just a teenager. I didn't know anything about England, and all I knew was that I wanted to be with my husband. I just wanted to have a normal life with him. I didn't want to be apart for 8 or 9 months at a time and just be together for like 2 weeks in the year. So yeah, I think it was a bit of desperation, but also like, well, if they don't know, surely she'll know because she runs the country, basically. But yeah, she wasn't able to help, unfortunately.
Right. But definitely the response was some sort of, consolation, I guess,
Yeah,
that they replied at least.
yeah. And then I think once I got to that stage, it's like, okay, well, if she can't help, then we need to try
Right.
something else. we need to
It's
pivot.
it's both. It was both happy that they replied, but at the same time, it kind of like end of it, like because he's just the
Yeah.
highest position and couldn't help you as well.
That's
But
the thing. Again, because we were so young, like it wasn't even that we weren't sure that we wanted to get married. It was just like I was 19. Like that's a really young age to be getting married. And if I had children, I don't think I'd want them to be getting married that young. But yeah, I
do you
think
plan to have children?
I don't know. Maybe someday.
Probably
We have a
not.
baby at the moment, and she's a handful, so we're happy with her at the moment.
Okay, let's take a short break and let's listen to one of her other songs, which is actually my favorite. It's a very uplifting, very encouraging song. It's called Soldier On. Let's play this.
Oh. I never thought I'd have the strength to do this, but I'm stronger than ever before. Life gets hard, but we just push on through it. We just have to get off of the floor. So I picked myself up off of the ground, not living upside down anymore. Started right back where I gave up before. So stand back and hear me roar. I've got the weight of the world sitting on my shoulders. There's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da. I've got the weight of the world sitting on my shoulders. There's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da. I promise I won't let my hope fade again. I will never let fear win. My darkest chapter has come to an end. Now I'm ready to begin. Oh, I picked myself up off of the ground, not living upside down anymore. Started right back where I gave up before. So stand back and hear me roar. I've got the weight of the world sitting on my shoulders. There's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da. I've got the weight of the world sitting on my shoulders. There's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da. I had to crawl through the mud. I had to lose a little blood, but you were always by my side. You picked me up when I fell down. I'm so glad you were around. Thanks to you, I'm so alive. I've got the weight of the world sitting on my shoulders. There's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da. Sitting on my shoulders, there's no way you could hold me down, baby. I just soldier on like da 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 da.
I never thought I'd have the strength to do this, but I'm stronger than ever before. Life gets hard, but we just push on through it. We just have to get up over the floor, so I picked up myself over ground, not living upside down anymore. My darkest chapter has come to an end. Now I'm ready to begin. Right, we are now at the tail end of our show this morning. But before we end our show, let's listen to one of her other songs from the album Songs from a Suitcase. The song is entitled See You Again. Let's play this.
I've never been good at saying goodbyes. I could have filled the Thames up with the tears I cried. I envy everybody on this plane. They're all excited while I'm drowning in my pain. But I promised you I'd be brave. And you promised me that you'd wait. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know someday I'll see you again. I don't ever want our story to end. Oh no, I don't know how I'll live without you. Back to my real life where it all began. But I know someday I'll see you again. They said be careful what you wish for. I wished for love and then you showed up at my door. 8 hours difference doesn't bother me. I love you more than every mile in between. And when I feel so unfair, I am grateful you're still there. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know someday I'll see you again. I don't ever want our story to end. Oh no, no, no. I don't know how I'll live without you. Back to my real life where it all began. But I know someday I'll see you again. Every time the sun sets, I'm one day closer to you. Every minute adds up to another hour through. Oh, I promise you I'll see you soon. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know someday I'll see you again. I don't ever want our story to end.
Is this something that you still wanted to pursue, Grace? Being a singer-songwriter, do you want to make it big hit, like in a sense? Which artist that you look after to and kind of like, I don't want to say the word idolize. What's the other term?
Oh, I love so many. I could go on for hours of all the artists that I love. I love Arctic Monkeys, Orla Gartland, Greta Isaac,
Mm,
Dizzy, Oh Wonder. There's so many amazing bands out there. Um, I I don't know if I'd never make it big, but I just like to think that I one day making it big for me is just being able to make a career off of what I love doing. So just being able to write music either for myself or for other people. And I have actually started doing commissioned work for people, which is amazing. So I get to wake up in the morning, sit down, and just write music, which is really cool. So that to me is making it big. Like I'm just really happy to be able to do what I love doing. So I've finally been able to actually pursue that now that I've got all the other foundations in place. So 2020 was actually a really good time for me because I was able to purchase my own home equipment and learn how to record without an actual studio and just like do it all myself and become more independent that way. So that's something that I want to pursue more. I've been writing for other people, so it's been a really fun couple of years, and I hope to keep going.
I've been thinking lately about the old times. They were the young and the bold times. I guess my dreams were just dreams. They got me nowhere, so it seems. Always looking for tomorrow. I guess tomorrow never came. Running away from my yesterdays. It seems it's always been the same. I live in a world of make-believe, chasing after lies, hiding behind the words I sing. Silence screams behind my eyes. I remember yesterday I was young and straight and tall. I thought maybe tomorrow I'd conquer it all. Pouring out my life in this simple melody. Where my time is gone, well, it's a mystery to me. Can rags to riches, fairy tales ever come true? They might for someone else, but for me they never do. I live in a world of make-believe, chasing after lies, hiding behind the words I sing. Silence screams behind my eyes. I remember yesterday I was young and straight and tall. I thought maybe tomorrow I'd conquer it all. Maybe tomorrow I'll conquer it all. Maybe tomorrow I'll conquer it all. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Grace Angelique. If you guys wanted to listen and follow her, go find her name, Grace Angelique, and it's like Angel and with a Lique.
So I'm on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, pretty much everywhere as Grace Angelique. That's Angelique. And I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. So Instagram is Grace Angelique Music, and I think Twitter is Grace A Music UK. So you can find me there.
Well, good luck to everything else that you wanted to do in life here in the UK. Grace Angelique, look at you now. You're British American now.
I am.
Yeah.
So weird to say it, but no, I'm really happy how things worked out.